Barrister George Sabo Koce, 68 by age, from Tiko. I've lived virtually all my life in Nigeria. Oh, just being adventurous. Never wanted to go into any practice, but I wanted the knowledge. In my early years, by the time I was in Form 3 in the secondary school, sometimes in 1969, my interest was to read law. But I was discouraged by then my religious teachers that lawyers were liars, until way back 1996, when the opportunity of Open University came. I decided to take a deep into it, and the reason then was fundamentally the civil service was one that was underutilizing me, and I thought of taking the advantage to do law then. It took me some 8 years to finish, and in the year 2010, I decided, I ran up my studies in 2008 and 2010, some 2-3 years before my retirement. I decided to go to the law school, because my thinking then was, why do I do the theory without doing the practice? So I decided to go to the law school in 2010. If not for anything, when opportunity comes up, I should be able to do something or say something, assist. And so I decided to go into the law school. It was an experience. If I must take you through, I started primary school in 1960. Indeed, I took myself to the primary school. I was already attending what they referred to as then what we call today nursery, which used to be held in our Equa church. And the day they were doing registration, I decided to just walk over to the school for registration. But one of my uncles saw me there when they were about rejecting me because of my height and all that. And he just asked them, let them pick me. So I was in the primary school between 1960 and 1966. I was in the secondary school, Suleja. Used to be known as Abuja, 1967 to 71. I attempted HSC in 1972-73, and was in Advanced Teachers College, Kano, 1974 to 77. Then my NYC, 77-78. Then I went to the university in 1980 to 1983. Very interesting experiences during these years. Then in 1986, I pursued my master's, and by 1999, I defended my work at the master's degree level. After that, intermittently, I was in the civil service. Officially, I started my civil service career in 1978 as a teacher with the Niger State Ministry of Education. Then 1983, I joined what used to be known as Lucas Niger State Polytechnic today, until 1989, when I joined MAMSA in the Federal Capital Territory. And from there, after my secondment, I joined the Area Council Services Commission as a planning research officer. By the year 1999, I was appointed Secretary of Abuja Municipal Area Council, where I was until 2003, when I left to Federal School of Surveyors to pursue a postgraduate diploma in Geographic Information Systems. It was then after that I pursued my law degree program. And at my retirement in the year 2013, I proceeded to the theological training school in Kagoro, where I did a postgraduate diploma in theology. If you are interested, this is the bit of me. Determination. We grew up along with my siblings in a family with our father, who was a strict disciplinarian and who will never take no for a yes. That initial upbringing, where we had no option but to be with him on the farm, gave us that strong determination in life right from our childhood. And because our father was very curious, he will always want to take a look at examination of your exercise books and continue to follow the teachers to find out we could not afford to make mess in our studies and whatever that we were involved in. So if you take a look at my career and my studies, you will agree with me that I had a great push in life based on the encouragement that we have from our father, and we could not afford to disappoint him. One, because as an illiterate himself, he made personal effort to have gone into adult education, where he could now read and write. And so we could not give any excuse for not pursuing our studies. Much more so with the younger brothers that we have, what example will we leave for them? So by the time I finished my secondary school, gained admission to the HSC, there were problems of finances. But something kept on pushing me for further studies. My father particularly he encouraged, and through his encouragement, I got greater determination to pursue my studies and to be able to do something, God blessing me, for my father, who grew up alone. He had no brother, no sister. And we will have loved that he had a very good life, giving the sacrifices, giving his commitment to our studies, and as a caring old man, we wanted to see him comfortable towards the end of his life. So we were determined to succeed in life, and the only way to succeed was to pursue further education. And that pushed me to pursue my studies. And at every turn of event in my studies, I thought the need to pursue further studies. If I had an opportunity today, I would still do a master's degree in an area I'm considering 2-3 years, because I have so much time to myself now. So I had a family, I had my parents that I never wanted to disappoint. So I got determined and I pushed until I go through with these studies at the end of the day. For me, age shouldn't be a barrier to education. It's the heart, it's the mind, it's the willpower. And I think, like I said, if I had my way, and as I'm making up my mind, I still intend to go for further studies. I still intend to do a master's in a field that I want to increase my knowledge over one area that I consider I require and I need. So age does not and shouldn't, to my mind, be a barrier to further studies. It should rather, studies and further studies should rather be a pursuit that one should pick as he grows old, because it becomes much lonely. It becomes lonelier with age and as one grows old. And if one must beat himself out of loneliness at this particular point, that you grow old, then education could be a panacea to the loneliness. You will notice that as one grows old, friends you have grown up with at your early age, they begin to get sick, but for the telephones, you can hardly get younger generation even bothering about you. Even your children have to pursue their own life, look for their livelihood, and they do not have all the time for you. So rather than stay lonely and wake up complaining and staying on your own there, it's good to read, and it does not only increase one's longevity, it also keep you awake and keep you alive. Otherwise, if you do not keep yourself active in anything or involved in anything, the tendency for you to tell your system that you have closed up. And for every human being, we're all afraid to die, isn't it? To have a successful career, one, right from the onset, we should be able to, the individual should be guided by counseling. One must identify who he is, what his capabilities are, what his gifts are, and make up one's mind on what to do. With counseling, it makes it easier for one to be guided to choose a career that will be in line with one's capabilities and one's gifts. Then you should be able to make choices in terms of the subjects to pursue, and you know you need friends and you need relations who can guide you appropriately. Without proper guidance, a lot of mistakes are likely going to be made. My own personal thinking is that parents should not unnecessarily pressurize children in careers they want them to. Rather, they should guide them through guidance and discovery individually, personally. One tends to take a decision that will be good for one in life. Otherwise, there are regrets that may come up along lifeline. Like they say, career and profession sometimes does not really depend on the field of your studies, but your passion. We have seen people who are pursuing careers or are living and pursuing professions that they did not go through in their formal studies. So, counseling, the self-discovery, determination, focus, and vision matters a lot. For me, for example, I never, in my civil service career, I never worked in the profession that I trained at all, because as I read geography in my first degree, but for the years I lectured. When I joined the civil service, the core civil service, I found myself in planning. Well, it's part of the course that I read, but it was not a professional course that I read as such. And ending up doing a master's in land administration, I still found myself in planning. And by the time I did my degree in law, I was virtually out of service. Now, I only use it to advise and guide some people. Wow, Nigerian youth, my very strong conviction is that you need to learn from the elders and your parents. You have to work hard. You have to listen. You do not begin to run before you walk. In today's life and old generation where some people want to run before they walk, the future belongs to the youth. And we need to make proper choices. We do not need to be overambitious. We need to take one step at a time. Take a look at those ahead and make choices that will bring you to successful life. There is no need to run before you walk, which is the fundamental problem that we have today. The youth have all the opportunities today because whether it is the federal government or the state government, the present position of the government bringing down the age of people participating in politics has given the opportunity to the youth to run for positions at very good age. And that gives us a very good opportunity for long career for the younger generation. My personal conviction and feeling is that the youth should be given opportunities to bring in their energy, to bring in their strength, to bring in their creativity, to make Nigeria different. But it is not possible. It's not possible for us or for the youth to attain great heights when and where they will fall into the same mistakes of the generation that have gone before them. They must suppress greed. They must learn to take one step and be sure of the step they have taken. And they must understand that in very many situations and instances, history always repeats itself if we do not take caution, if we do not learn from the past. We need integrity. We need people in Nigeria who can make a true difference. The mess before you as youth, you cannot afford to go the same path. Thank you. Best, I think you have taken a very interesting, bold step to make a career in publication. As good as the career is, it is laced with so much difficulties because you need funds to be able to do your publication, but no matter what, you can make it. No matter what, it's an opportunity for you if you are determined with resilience. The sky will be your limit. Well, some people say sky will be the starting point, but definitely with some level of diligence, with some level of foresight, with some level of commitment and determination and willpower, you have the future looking very bright for you. Wishing you the very best.